Earlier this year, the Prime Minister announced 10 challenging results for the public sector to achieve over the next 3 to 5 years. We can help create better communities by achieving these results, which include reducing long-term welfare dependency, supporting vulnerable children, boosting skills and employment, reducing crime, and improving interaction with government. We've already announced one of those targets, 85% of 18-year-olds having NCA Level 2 or equivalent within 5 years, up from 68% currently. Today we are announcing 2 more as part of Budget 2012. The first is to reduce prison reoffending by 25% in 5 years. Reaching this target would mean 18,500 fewer victims of crime every year. The second is increasing the rate of participation in early childhood education to 98%, up from 94.7% currently. This will ensure that as many children as possible have a strong platform for learning when they start school. We are still finalising our other better public service results, and they will be announced by the 30th of June. Progress towards achieving the results will be reported publicly so New Zealanders can judge for themselves how well we are doing. As we've said, achieving these results will be demanding. In fact, for some of them it will be quite difficult. We make no apology for that. Mr. Speaker, despite tight financial constraints, the government has made investing in better frontline health services a priority over the past 3 budgets. This continues in Budget 2012. Over the next 4 years, the government is committing almost $1.5 billion extra to Vote Health, partly funded by $129 million of savings identified in 2011-12. This will deliver 4,000 more elective operations a year, provide better service for cardiac and cancer patients, provide $12 million to reduce rheumatic fever, and invest $133 million in disability support services. In addition, the government will provide $60 million in capital for new hospitals and buildings. As we've already announced, pharmaceutical co-payments will be increased from $3 to $5, up to a maximum of 20 prescription items per family per year, after which items are free. Prescriptions for children under 6 will remain free. This is a modest increase that allows us to spend more on frontline health services than we would otherwise have been able to. As part of its wider health policy, the government will also continue to increase tobacco excise by 10% over and above inflation each year for the next 4 years. The first increase will occur on 1st of January 2013, followed by annual increases on 1 January in each of the following 3 years. Previous increases in the excise have reduced tobacco consumption as smokers have given up or cut back and fewer young people begin smoking. I acknowledge the work and support of the Maori Party and its ministers, the Honourable Tariana Turia and the Honourable Peter Sharples in this area. Mr. Speaker, raising student achievement and improving the tracking of student performance is important for New Zealand and therefore a priority for this government. As we have confirmed, the government is committed to the ambitious goal of 85% of 18-year-olds with NCA Level 2 or equivalent qualifications. Reaching this goal means resources must be managed to get better results for all students. Evidence shows that the single most important thing we can do to raise achievement is to improve teaching quality. So Budget 2012 makes a significant investment in this area. Over the next 4 years, the government will commit $512 million towards new frontline education initiatives. This takes the government's total investment in early childhood education and schooling to $9.6 billion in 2012-13. The government wants to create a flexible, skilled professional workforce, and through these initiatives to support principals and teachers. We are committing an extra $60 million to lift the quality of teaching in our schools. This is in addition to the $304 million we are spending on professional learning and development for teachers in primary and secondary education over the next 4 years. Budget 2012 also sets aside further funding to support priority learners. This includes $83 million in school operating grants, $51 million to continue the rollout of ultra-fast broadband in schools, and $48 million to increase participation by vulnerable groups in early childhood education, and $19 million to support Māori medium early childhood education providers. The government will provide extra parenting programs and relationship education in secondary schools at a cost of $4 million over the next 4 years. We will also support a variety of youth mental health initiatives with an extra $17 million over 4 years. To increase investment in raising student achievement and to manage the cost of increased primary school-aged children over the next 4 years, we are making small changes to current school funding ratios. Mr. Speaker, I have already mentioned some of the new initiatives in tertiary education. In addition, Budget 2012 invests in providing more pathways into work and further training for young people leaving school. It provides an additional free 3,000 tertiary-based youth guarantee places at the cost of $37.7 million over 4 years. The government will also continue to better target student assistance to where it is most needed and ensure better value for taxpayers. From 1 January this year, we implemented tighter income rules to ensure student allowance is fair. Budget 2012 confirms a number of further student loan changes from 1 April 2013, including increasing student loan repayments from 10 cents in every dollar earned over the income threshold to 12 cents, widening the definition of income for student loan repayment purposes, for student allowances continuing the freeze on parental income thresholds until 31 March 2016, targeting allowances to first degrees only, and removing exemptions for long programs such as postgraduate training, taking effect from 1 January 2013. These changes are consistent with the government's intention to see better value for New Zealanders, to ensure the longevity of the student loan scheme and improve alignment with Working for Families and other social policy initiatives. Mr. Speaker, it is concerning for our future that around 1 in 8 New Zealanders aged 18 to 64 is on a benefit, and around a half of them have spent at least 5 of the last 10 years on a benefit. This government has embarked on ambitious reforms focused on supporting New Zealanders out of welfare and into work. The budget invests $287.5 million over 4 years in the first phase of this program. This funding provides more education and training for young people. It will also focus on work availability and preparation for sole parents, widows, women alone and partners within the benefit system, and parents who have subsequent children while on benefit. The second phase of welfare reform will be implemented in July 2013. This will involve changes to benefit categories. Both phases of the reforms are a shift towards a new investment approach to welfare. The investment approach provides greater transparency over the long-term cost of welfare and focuses government agencies on reducing this cost through employment support and training. Mr Speaker, Budget 2012 continues the Government's policy of staying strong on crime. The justice sector, including the Ministry of Justice and the Departments of Police and Corrections, is developing new ways of working together and making better use of existing resources. This includes more flexible funding arrangements and shared use of staff and assets. This will allow the sector to focus on results, reducing total crime, violent crime and youth crime, and reducing reoffending. For example, the Policing Excellence Program helped reduce total crime by 5.6% between 2010 and 2011. As I've confirmed today, the Department of Corrections aims to reduce reoffending by 25% by 2017. To help achieve this, it will invest $145 million of reprioritised money from prison closures and cost reductions out to 2019-2020 in rehabilitation programs. Modernising court services will ensure that people can access services faster and more conveniently. Mr Speaker, working with non-government providers, the Government is committed to improving housing affordability and providing assistance to households in need. Budget 2012 provides funding of $104 million for this over 3 years. It will be used to trial greater innovation, diversity and scale in the social housing sector. The Government's housing policies will work alongside welfare reform to assist people towards independence. We are working with the housing sector to use our $15 billion investment in state houses and almost $2 billion of annual subsidies more effectively to house people in need. The Government will also work with councils to improve housing affordability for all New Zealanders. Mr Speaker, the Government's final priority is rebuilding Christchurch. The Government remains absolutely committed to supporting the rebuilding of Christchurch, our second largest city. The total cost of the damage is estimated at more than $20 billion, so it is without doubt the largest and most complex economic project in New Zealand's history. I want to pay tribute to the work of my colleague, the Honourable Jerry Brownlee, and to the many public servants, community organisations and families who have worked so hard to help each other through this disaster. Considerable progress is being made. Work on about 3/4 of the 1,000 buildings required to be partially or fully demolished in the Christchurch CBD has been completed. Some 13,000 housing repair jobs are underway across Greater Christchurch. A significant number of infrastructure repair projects worth about $820 million have been completed or are underway or in the design phase. And nearly 5,000 of the 7,000 property owners in the residential red zone have formally accepted the Government's offer to purchase their properties. About half of these owners have already settled, allowing them to move on and restart their lives. The Government is providing considerable resources for the Canterbury rebuild. We set aside $5.5 billion in Budget 2011 for the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Fund. We established the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority, and we passed special legislation so the Government can step in where required to remove structural barriers to reconstruction. Looking ahead, the Government is developing a blueprint for the Central City to take forward the draft Central City Plan prepared by the Christchurch City Council in consultation with the people of the region. That blueprint will focus on anchor projects and precincts and provide sufficient direction to encourage the investment needed for rebuilding. The Government has assisted with land supply for housing by using special earthquake recovery powers to amend land use rules to allow rezoning of residential subdivisions. there is now a significant amount of residential land available in Greater Christchurch, potentially 26,000 sections over the next 5 years. And 6,600 greenfield sections are expected to be released to the market within the next 2 years. The government is determined that residents can rebuild and move into their new or repaired homes as soon as possible. Finalising the remaining residential land zoning decisions and the settlement of outstanding insurance claims is therefore a priority. Mr. Speaker, it is now almost 4 years since the collapse of Lehman Brothers, which set off the global financial crisis and global recession. Since then, we have witnessed significant disruption to economies around the world, and that is likely to continue for years to come. For instance, the euro area and the United Kingdom are going back into recession this year. The United States has low and uncertain growth. By comparison, New Zealand is going through a moderate adjustment. We are avoiding the substantial cuts to public services and living standards that we are seeing in many other developed countries. Our outlook is more positive than most. We are a food-producing economy on the doorstep of a rapidly growing middle class in the Asia-Pacific region. Providing we stick to the government's balanced, ongoing economic program over coming years, I'm confident we will grasp the opportunities available to us. Mr. Speaker, Budget 2012 sets out the next steps in the government's program. It's about investing in our future. It's about implementing the government's plan to build opportunities for New Zealanders from all walks of life. It's about returning to surplus in 2014-15 when we can start reducing the debt brought on by the recession and earthquakes. We are building a more productive and competitive economy where New Zealanders have the jobs, higher incomes and opportunities to get ahead in their own country. We are delivering better public services within financial constraints, and we are firmly focused on getting better results for New Zealanders and their families. We are helping to rebuild Christchurch and standing beside the people of Canterbury. New Zealanders have shown great resilience through challenging times. Budget 2012 supports their aspirations for a brighter future. Mr. Speaker, I commend this budget to the House.
Order. The question is that the Appropriation 2012-13 Estimates Bill be now read a second time. The Leader of the Opposition, David Shearer.